What's up? You gonna breathe heavy all night again? Are we doing that again? Okay. Now I get to like get focused. No, that's your job. That's your job. With 2 horses, it lasts me about 3 days. Maybe 3.5. Doesn't last too long. You guys, I am dying of thirst. Yeah, and you figure I'm paying probably $20 a bale right now. So I go between 8 and 10 bales a month for the 2 horses. It's better when it's like spring because yeah, James, you didn't realize that? It's better when it's spring because then there's grass, they eat that and then they eat less hay. Or I can just throw them like 1 flake instead of 2. Hey, girly. But like right now, there is nothing. I know that's what he's charging. I know. And I was paying last summer, it was up to 32 a bale. And they don't eat less when it's more expensive. I wish. It was getting to the point where I was starting to think it might be cheaper to buy the bag pelleted feed than it is to buy hay, which is scary. Mm-hmm. Is it 2,500 miles? I don't know if it's that far, is it? I had somebody today telling me they want to move out of state, but they want to move somewhere where there's no tornadoes, where they get rain, where it's pretty. And I'm like, oh, Iowa. Like everything they described. I'm like, Iowa. Hey, Sully, I'm going to shut you out. You're going to get closed out of here. Is it $3 a mile? Do you really? I know he won't be quiet. Yeah, no, I'll pass on that. Thank you. Oh, look, there's 2 of you, 3 of you. Well, you're in. Tim, where are you again? Yeah, I love him too, but he needs to be quiet right now. He has not barked the whole time I've been home, not even when I let him out. Are you in Iowa? Why was I thinking you were in Indiana? Yeah, he's been quiet the whole time I've been home today. Let him outside, ran around, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, now he wants to bark. Is Ryan in Indiana? Did I have you guys backwards? Hey, Kristen, I hear you talk to Ron. See, I had you guys backwards for some reason. I mean, you're both rednecks. It's okay. And I mean that in a lovable way because I'm a redneck. Isn't he sweet? Isn't he just the sweetest man? He's a really good prayer too. Gary, the big one that you hear barking, that is my Great Pyrenees. You'll hear him come in here and start breathing. And then I've got 2 mini dachshunds. Hey guys, I found out something today. Hey Manny. Found out today that Brody got adopted. They sent me a picture of him on his way to his new home. It's a mom and dad, and then they have a son, teenage son. Looks like he's about 16, 17 years old. So it's perfect. It's someone that the kid can play with, mom and dad can love on. I think he's going to be an only dog. So it's going to be like a perfect situation for him. So he was here as a stopover, just like God told me, and he is off to his forever home. And the nice thing about this rescue that he went with is that, yeah, way to behave, Brody. Good job. The nice thing about this rescue is even if the person that adopts them out passes away, they have a contract that that dog has to go back to them. It can't go back. Hey, Chris, can't go back to other family members without those family members being approved. It has to go back to the rescue for them to approve it or take him back. So he has a home forever, no matter what. Chris, sorry I didn't call you the other night. Blame Manny. That was all Manny's fault. Well, that and the fact that I hadn't slept. You guys, I'm excited for tonight. This was one that he gave me. He started giving it to me. Yeah, there's not a lot of good rescues around. This rescue happens to have been around for like 24 years. So it's only golden retrievers. So it was a really nice facility. Really, really nice ranch, everything. If I ever had my way, that's what I would do. I would start a rescue. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy week trying to get ready for this retreat this weekend. I still haven't packed. I haven't cleaned the horse stalls. I haven't done laundry yet. Allie's coming up tomorrow after I leave. I've got to get the cat boxes clean. I've got to get the cats like loaded up on food and water. So like I've got a whole bunch of stuff still to do between tonight and tomorrow. I have to run a vacuum on the floors because with Sully, you always have to run a vacuum. I'm tired, Superwoman, tonight. But I will say that the Lord has had me up early and to bed late because he's been talking. Oh, he's been talking. Looking for a what? Did I miss Kathy coming on? Or is that a different Kathy? See, he's down there breathing again. Guys, I'm excited. I'm excited. Really? A different one? That's cool. I'm excited for tonight because I had no idea. I don't know. Neither one of them is registered. I know my mare is, she's just a buckskin, so she's quarter horse. I know her parents were both quarter horse. So I know she's a quarter horse, but she's not registered. And then the other one, he is out of a paint or a pinto mare. Found out later that she can get papers. Her dad is a world champion paint cutting horse, and mom is a world champion NFR rope horse, quarter horse. So I still think maybe she had some thoroughbred in her somewhere, but baby, we don't know. My 2-year-old, I don't know what he is because we don't know how she got bred. Apparently, it was the immaculate conception, according to the people I bought her from. They didn't even know she was pregnant, and I didn't know she was pregnant till the day before she gave birth. So he's almost 17 hands, so he's either some draft cross or you should see my big brat. He's either some draft cross or I think he's thoroughbred. He looks thoroughbred. He acts like a thoroughbred. I used to train racehorses, so yeah, I know thoroughbreds pretty well. But I love him to pieces, and he is a spoiled brat. Last night he came running up to the fence in the dark because he heard me rustling his little mints out of the packages and was so excited for his bedtime treat. They would try. They would definitely try to come to bed with me. The funny thing is I let Sully on the bed, he doesn't want to. He has no desire to get on the bed. I think it's just too warm with all the other animals on the bed. So he sleeps in the hallway so nobody can get in my room anyway. Nobody will ever break in my house because that dog sleeps between me and the door. That's where he's at right now, between me and the door. I'll take it. Oh, my stomach's making all kinds of noises. Manny, I did eat real fast. Just so you know, I horked down a piece of pizza. Homemade pizza, but it's still pizza. Yeah. Yeah, nothing gets in my place. Pretty close. I don't know. How old are you? I mean, you don't have to say on here if you don't want to. Oh, then no, I am not your age, but I'll go with it. Why did Ron brag and tell you how old I really am? He doesn't get to tell people how old I really am. That's a secret that's supposed to go to his grave with him. Yeah, nobody's supposed to talk about how old I am. Actually, everybody knows how old I am because I just had a birthday. So, oh, no, no, no. I have been to New York City. Hated it. Actually, I liked outside of New York City. I liked Central Park. I liked the traveling outside of the city. I hated New York City. No. No, I don't think it's a steel toe message tonight. I was actually like, I think that's why I'm really excited is because it's not a steel toe message tonight. It might be a little bit, maybe. No, my oldest is 28 and well, she's about to be 28. Yeah. She'll be 28 this year. And then my youngest just turned 24. No, I'm 51. Yep. I am 51. I think it's funny that uh your name is Manny, but you sound like Ray Romano, and then on top of that, Ray Romano played Manny in Ice Age. So, Braun's a brat. Did we talk about his age? I hopefully he told you about his age. Yeah, it's good filters. I have good filters. That's what I always say. The funny thing is, if you look at me, no, he does not sound his age at all. Not at all. I that was the first thing I noticed about him is he sounds super young. He looks super young too. 87. Ron's a dinosaur. You guys are mean. It can be. Yeah, he can be. He's really funny though. I got nothing but good things to say about Ron. So that's okay. You should see the pictures of him. Go find pictures of Ron if he's got pictures up. If he would shave that stupid beard off, I hate his beard. Hate it. I keep telling him to shave it. That's the only bad thing I'll say about Ron is he needs to shave the fuzz off his face. Yeah. He's super sweet. Yeah. He's much better looking with no beard. I hate the beard. I keep telling him shave that dang thing off. I can't wait for him to shave it off. He's going to come on here and we're going to be like totally talking about him. Right? He's not a biker dude at all. Nope. Oh, Ryan. Some people look better without them. I can't imagine you with a beard, Ryan. What are you doing? Willie, what are you chewing up? How did you get my napkin? You turd. Willie, go lay down. I'm getting on the blind dog to go lay down. Nice talking to you, Gary. Right? Hey, Kathy. There's the other Kathy. Where is Ron? Is he still working? He's supposed to be on here. I'm not a super big fan of a lot of facial hair. Like goatees, groomed beards. I don't know. It needs to look kept. It says the woman with the hair that's like everywhere. I mean, if you want me to shave my mustache, you gotta keep yours trimmed. My stomach is making all kinds of noise. I probably shouldn't have eaten. Oh, mine's just a mess. Manny and I were talking about it because I used to straighten it a lot or blow dry it. I mean, like blow it out straight. And we laugh about it because we basically say that this is more me. I'm a hot mess. Yeah, the goatee I can do because it's kept. You have to like keep it trimmed around it and, shaped and all of that. I can do that. It's the big bushy beards I don't like. Just there's no part of me that thinks they're attractive. Sorry, guys. Willie, stop. Hold on. I got to clean up Willie's mess. Look out. What was that? What was that? Something just made some noises. His beard is a scare tactic. His beard is what he likes to hide behind. That's what I keep telling him. I straightened mine until I noticed the ends were going straight on their own, and I realized it was damaging it. So then I quit straightening it. I'll do it every now and then, but not really very often anymore. I still do have to blow dry it, though. It takes forever to dry. All right. Let's pray us in, and then we're going to get into this because I'm excited for this one, honestly, guys. Okay. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this time together, Lord. I pray that you will fall on this live, that you will cover this live, that you will surround this live, protect it. Lord, keep all the trolls out, keep the enemy out, keep us hidden from his view so that the people you want to hear this can hear this. Father, you know I've prayed over this tonight multiple times over, and I know that there is something you want said here tonight. And so I just pray that it's only your words that come out, not my own. And Father, that the people that need to hear this, that need to be here tonight, are the ones that you bring in here tonight. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Why was that? Oh, you know what? I have sound. Look at that. I have sound. Okay. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's something we like to hide. All right, guys. So I just need to recap a little bit because we're going to get into this in a minute. Literally, he gave me the title for this one. You know how it's been like, who are you listening to? What are you saying? Or what are you talking about? What are you looking at? This one, he just said, let's get ready to rumble. And I'm like, what? What are we doing? Hey, long time no talk. Okay, so I have you guys. It's going to be active participation tonight. Okay. So every single one of us on here, because he is telling me this, every single one of us on here have a promise from God. At least one that he has given you, that's been on your heart, that he has told you is coming. Guys, I'm like getting so excited right now. Okay, I got to calm down. Okay, so there's a promise that he has put on your heart. Some of you, I know what it is. Others of you, I don't know what it is, or you're new on here. So if you're new on here, welcome. And yeah, that's not a shock. That's not a shock, hon. So I need everybody just for a couple of minutes to close your eyes. I need you to close your eyes and just imagine that dream that God is lifting out of your heart, that thing that he has put on you that is coming, that he keeps telling you soon. It's coming soon. So that thing, whether it's a relationship or a job or a new house or healing or a ministry, whatever it is, I need you to close your eyes and picture yourself in it. I need you to close your eyes and see yourself doing that thing. And I know we try to like push it away because it hurts sometimes, but he's telling me tonight, you guys need to close your eyes. Not you, Jeff, because you're probably driving, but you need to close your eyes and think about that thing. Whatever that thing is that he's given you the promise for, I need you to focus on it right now. Okay. So can you see it? Can you feel it? Do you know what it feels like to actually be That's how you got pulled over, to actually be walking in it in this moment. And can you hear it? Can you hear the whisper of him telling you, this is what you were meant for? This is what I intend for you. This is what I want you to feel like when it comes to pass. This is what's coming for you. Okay. So now, do you look and focus on the good parts of it? Or are you looking and focusing on why it can't happen? So open your eyes. What are you seeing now? What are you feeling right now? Do you feel like this is never going to happen? Or I would love this, Lord, but, or are you feeling energized? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling like this could actually happen? He can do this. I know that he can do this. That's because he's moving, you guys. I'm telling you, he has already told me there is something incredible in store tonight. This is why I'm so excited. Okay. Are you believing him for these promises? If he is having you, okay, so this is where well, we're going to get to it. Hang on. So there's a whole school of thought of vision boards and the psychological benefits of visualization. Okay. So we know that visualization is the practice of imagining what you want to achieve in order to create it. Okay. That's the definition of it. That's the cultural definition of visualization. We've all heard of dream boards, the whole manifestation. Think about it, and that's what's going to come to pass. And so people and the enemy have tried to grab onto this and pull it towards them and make it hyper spiritual or a cultural thing or a psychological thing. Except for, here's the thing, God talks about it first. God tells us about it in the Bible. God is telling us what he wants us to do. He is literally telling you to imagine a thing, create a picture in your mind, a visual of these things, imagine them, and that creates excitement and motivation, or it's supposed to. It's going to improve your performance and help you strategize for these situations that are going to come or that he's telling you are going to come. It's going to build clarity in you so that you can see how to react when certain things happen. It's practice. It's literally your mind practicing, because our brains, the way God has wired the synapses in our brains, it does not know the difference between imagining it and experiencing it. It creates muscle memory. And I've talked to you guys a little bit about how God has been taking me through practical things where he has told me and taught me in my boot camp season, my wilderness season, my isolation season. And he's prepared me for, this is how I want you to act if this happens. And this is how I want you to act if this happens. And this is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. So if somebody comes at you, how do we react? And so he's been teaching me step by step by step, the way a parent does with a child. But now he's taken me out of that and put me in the field. And he's got me standing out there and he's just throwing this stuff at me. So now I'm getting the fastballs coming at me, and I'm having to know how to hit those fastballs. I'm having to know how to react and because I've imagined it, because I've kind of gone through it already. I've already been strategizing in my brain. If this comes at me, how do I happen? How do I react? If this comes at me, how does the Lord want me to act in this? So when I have somebody who calls me on the phone at work and starts screaming at me and yelling at me and cussing me out, then I know, calm down. This is not about you. This is about this situation with them. When something comes at me and it looks opposite of the promise, when it looks like it's going to fall apart, when it looks exactly like it's moving away from the promise, I look back at scripture and I'm like, Lord, you've already said this. You're not a liar. I'm trusting you in this. So, what has happened to me? Okay, hold on. So, 90% of all Olympic athletes do this. They imagine these things. That's part of how they get to be Olympic athletes. He is telling us do the same things. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys our focus scriptures. We are going to sit in these scriptures tonight and read them over and over and over. It's a long section. So sit down and start listening and just follow along. He specifically wants me to read it in the message version, and it's a lot, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so it's Isaiah 54. Okay. And I'm going to start with verse 1. Sing, barren woman who has never had a baby. Fill the air with song, you who have never experienced childbirth. You're ending up with far more children than all those childbearing women. God says so. Clear lots of ground for your tents. Make your tents large, spread out, think big. Use plenty of rope, drive the tent pegs deep. You're going to need lots of elbow room for your growing family. You're going to take over whole nations. You're going to resettle abandoned cities. Don't be afraid. You're not going to be embarrassed. Don't hold back. You're not going to come up short. You'll forget all about the humiliations of your youth, and the indignities of being a widow will fade from memory. For your maker is your bridegroom, his name, God of the angel armies. Your redeemer is the Holy One of Israel, known as God of the whole earth. You were like an abandoned wife, devastated with grief, and God welcomed you back. Like a woman married young and then left, your God says your God, your Redeemer God says, I left you, but for only a moment. Now, with enormous compassion, I'm bringing you back. In an outburst of anger, I turn my back on you, but only for a moment. It's with lasting love I'm tenderly caring for you. This exile is just like the days of Noah for me. I promised then that the waters of Noah would never again flood the earth. I'm promising now no more anger, no more dressing you down. Even if the mountains walk away and the hills fall to pieces, my love will not walk away from you. My covenant commitment of peace won't fall apart. The God who has compassion on you says so. Afflicted city, storm battered, unpitied, I'm about to rebuild you with stones of turquoise. Lay your foundations with sapphires. Construct your towers with rubies, your gates with jewels, and all your walls with precious stones. All of your children will have God for their teacher. What a mentor for your children. You'll be built solid, grounded in righteousness, far from any trouble, nothing to fear. Far from terror, it won't even come close. If anyone attacks you, don't for a moment suppose I sent them. If any should attack, nothing will come of it. I create the blacksmith who fires up his forge and makes weapons designed to kill. I also create the destroyer, but no weapon that can hurt you has ever been forged. Any accuser who takes you to court will be dismissed as a liar. It's exactly what happened, guys. This is what God's servants can expect. I'll see to it that everything works out for the best. God's decree. There's more. This is Isaiah 55. Hey there, all who are thirsty, come to the water. We know that he is our water. Are you penniless? Come anyway, buy and eat. Come buy your drinks, buy wine and milk. Buy without money. Where did it go? I just lost my spot. Why did it switch? Hold on. It just switched to a chapter for me. Enemy be gone. Okay. Buy without money. Everything's free. Why do you spend your money on junk food, your hard earned cash on cotton candy? Listen to me. Listen well. Eat only the best. Fill yourself with only the finest. Pay attention. Come close now. Listen carefully to my life giving, life nourishing words. I'm making a lasting covenant commitment with you, the same that I made with David. Sure, solid, enduring love. I set him up as a witness to the nations, made him a prince and leader of nations. And now I'm doing it for you. You'll summon nations you've never heard of, and nations who have never heard of you will come running to you because of me, your God, because the Holy of Israel has honored you. Seek God while he's here to be found. Pray to him while he's close at hand. Let the wicked abandon their way of life and the evil way of their thinking, and let them come back to God who is merciful. Come back to God who is lavish with forgiveness. I don't think the way you think. The way you work isn't the way I work. God's decree. For as high as the sky soars above the earth, the way I work surpasses the way you work. And the way I think is beyond the way you think. Just as rain and snow descend from the skies and doesn't go back until it's watered the earth, doing their work of making things grow and blossom, producing seed for farmers and food for the hungry, so will the words that come out of my mouth not come back empty handed. They'll do the work I sent them to do. They'll complete the assignment I gave them. You'll go out in joy. You'll be led into a whole and complete life. Let the mountains and the hills will lead the parade, bursting with song. And the trees of the forest will join the procession, exuberant with applause. No more thistles, but giant sequoias. No more thorn bushes, but stately pines. Monuments to me, to God, living, lasting evidence of God. On to 56. Guard my common good. Do what is right and do it in the right way. For salvation is just around the corner. My setting things right is about to go into action. That's where we're going to stop, you guys. This is what he took me to after last weekend. This is where he took me and said, this is what you're talking about on Thursday. This is what I've been getting to with all of these messages that he's had for the last 3 lives. This is the point he's been trying to get to. And you guys, I'm sorry, but I didn't read the chat as we were going. Okay, so God is telling us he wants us to do the same thing. What he's talking here and what he's talking about in this is contextually. Let's understand where they were. Okay. It sounds really great to hear all of this. This is a great message of hope from God, right? But we forget to look at it in what the context of it was. This was Isaiah. They were literally in captivity in this moment that he's preaching this. When God had him stand up in front of the people and say this, they were literally in captivity, and all around them was death, destruction, slavery, captivity, servitude. All they could see and hear was bad. There was nothing good in front of them. They were in the middle of a storm. They were having their circumstances and their situation did not look like it was getting any better. And yet, God says, Isaiah stands and preaches this, and God is telling them, this is the basic gist of what he's telling them. This is what he had me write out today. If we summed up these 2.5 chapters, get ready. God's about to show up and show out. He's about to bless you like you won't believe. I know you've been humiliated, shamed, and laid low. I know it looks like the complete opposite of blessing is happening, but people are about to witness what God can do. You're about to go from the pit to the palace, from slave to king. I've got you, and nothing and no one can touch you unless I allow it. Follow me and watch how big I bless you. You're not going to have room for it. You might not even understand, but that doesn't change that it's happening because I say so. It isn't going to just be people celebrating. The whole world is going to see, and it's right around the corner. You've had my back all along, and now I'm going to have yours now, not later. You guys, this is what he is telling me to tell you guys right now, which is why I prayed exactly the way I prayed today, is whoever needs to be here, whoever needs to hear this, whoever this message is for from him. I'm like, Lord, do you really want me to get up there and prophesy? Is that what you're asking me to do? He said, yep. I'm going to bring on the people. I said, what if it's not for them? He said, they'll be there. The ones who need to hear this will be the ones who are there. That's what you're praying for. Anybody who needs to hear this, anybody who's feeling laid low like you have been this last week, this is what you need to hear because this is what's happening. You guys, every single thing this week has confirmed this over and over and over and over to me. It's coming. It's coming whether you're ready for it or not. Okay, so here's the thing. This works 2 ways. So when God is telling you, imagine these things that I'm telling you to imagine. I am telling you guys right now, since last October, he gave me a picture in my head, a vision in my head, and said, I want you to picture this every single night. Every single night, he would remind me, think of that in your head. Think of that thing in your head. On the nights I can't sleep because I'm so upset, the nights I can't sleep because I think it's never going to happen. Lord, is this really you telling me these things? He's like, think about this. And I will instantly fall asleep in peace. 100%. Like it's almost instant. It's like taking a tranquilizer. It hits so hard and just makes me completely at peace. And it's just the vision that he put in my head one night. And he said, hold to that. Imagine that. Stay with that. That's what I want you to keep in your mind. And there were nights when I was like, I don't want to think that. It hurts too much. I don't want to think that because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't really believe it's going to happen. What if it's just me? He's like, I don't care if it's just you. I don't care if you think it's just you. Keep thinking of this. Keep imagining this scenario playing out. Keep picturing this over and over and over. And I was like, okay, I don't know if this is you or not, but I know that this brings me peace. I know that this helps me sleep. And so I'm going to trust you, Lord, that this is you. So I'm fine, Manny. I'm fine, really. I'm like, okay, Lord, this is you. I'm going to keep doing this thing. No, you're fine. You guys are fine. And so I would keep imagining this thing. And then there were a couple of times when I didn't do it and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get it through my head that it was still him telling me. And what he's telling me is there's 2 ways this works. And this is what we see when we do this. It can work for our benefit. So when God is telling you to do this, it's you focusing on the promise that God is giving you. It's you focusing on what he's told you. It's you believing him and having the faith in him and focusing on your faithfulness to the thing that he's told you. It's not that he wants us to focus on the promise. He wants us to focus on the person giving the promise and trust that he is going to do what he says he's going to do. So we're seeing what God wants us to see. We're seeing the image of what he is placing in our heart to desire. Then he wants us to listen, because in doing this, in visualizing these things, in listening to what he's telling us to do and to think about, we're listening and obeying him. We're stepping out in obedience. And then when we speak it out, which is what we talked about last week, when you start speaking it out, it's not just saying it with your mouth. It's not just, like when the enemy comes at you and starts putting all the doubts in your head, that's when you speak it out. No, God has said this. His word will not return void. If he has told me this and he is telling me to imagine this, it's because he wants this for me. He is working for my good. Everything he works out for my good. And so when we start reciting scripture, when we start reciting the promises over and over again, the enemy can't combat that because he knows that he can only lie. He can only tell us a lie. But if God is telling us truth, why would we believe the lie? Yes, it's easy to believe the lie, but when God is continually working on your muscle memory of your brain to picture this image, you are focusing on him and what he wants. The lies don't bother you as much because you're so focused on God and what he's telling you that you're not listening over here. This voice gets quieter and it can't get through as much. And that's when the blessing comes because you're walking in obedience, you're walking in faith because you're getting it here, it's coming down to here, and then you're living it out and moving it forward. So you're constantly walking forward in that faith. But this also can work for your destruction. So what happens if it's the opposite? What if God has told you to focus on something, but you start focusing on the why it can't happen? Because this is where the enemy is trying to get you. This is where he throws those doubts in at you. And then instead of focusing on God in it, you start focusing on the enemy and his lie and the situation and what you see in the natural. When you start focusing on those things, when you start looking at the storm instead of the one who calms the storm, you start to worry. That's where worry starts to come in. And then that worry builds into it, and you start listening to everyone around you. You start listening to the wind blow. You start listening to the people who are speaking death over it. You start to speak out things like, this can't happen because. And that's when you start to live in doubt. That's when you start to move away from that faith. Remember, I said it's two different directions? Maybe. So what happens is that's when the curse comes. That's when the death of that promise comes. Not because God doesn't want to give it to you, not because he doesn't have it for you, but because you've stepped away from it. You've believed the lies of the enemy and you started backing away from the promise that he had by your doubts, by your actions. Again, it's still your actions. It's your movement. It's what you are speaking and listening to, and the way you are walking out your faith. You're just walking out your faith in your doubts instead of your faith in your God. And so what happens is we end up walking the wrong direction. Okay. So think of it this way, a New Year's resolution. When you have a New Year's resolution, you decide, let's just say this is your New Year's resolution. You're going to get healthy this year. Everybody makes that at one time or another in our lives. You're going to get healthy this year. So what do? You decide what you're going to do. Am I going to lose 20 pounds? Am I going to start working out? Am I going to start eating right? Am I going to do all of those things? One of those things, two, you decide on what you're going to do. You decide what your goal weight is going to be, or what your goal for measuring your health is going to be. So maybe it's a certain size, maybe it's a certain blood pressure, who knows? Whatever it is, you decide what that goal is, that target point, that promise, let's say. Okay. So then from there, you get advice, you listen, you find out what it is you need to do. You figure out the workouts you're going to do. You get a diet plan, you get a trainer, whatever you're going to do. Okay. You start looking into it. That is your focus. Then you start doing the thing, because you can have all of the information and never move in it. If you don't start moving in it and start walking in it and start living out the faith, nothing's ever going to change. Then you just have something in your head that's a fantasy. We can sit there and just think about the thing that God is telling us and never walk it out, never move in it. And then it's just a fantasy. The promise still doesn't happen. Why? Because we're afraid. We need to actually walk that thing out with him and be obedient. This is where your faith gets meets up with your feet. This is where the rubber meets the road. Okay. So you might not be healthy yet today, but you put those steps of action into place, and that's what gets you to healthy. So, what makes you think your walk with him is going to be any different? What makes you think your walk with him needs to be easier or more complicated? And that's what we're doing with our faith, is we're making it more complicated than some of these more situational things, these more physical things, these more cultural things. If you know you have to get a degree to get a certain job, you want that job, you decide you want that job, you go back to school, you get your degree, you go get that job. It's pretty simple. We look at that simply. So why is it any different when it comes to our walk with God? If God is telling us, you want this promise, live like this, you'll get this promise. So why do we skip the live like this part? Okay. So in the past weeks, what have you been focused on? What have you been listening to? What have you been doing? What are you saying? These are all the things that we've talked about in these past few, past 2 weeks. But you have to do all three of these things. So all three want you to see before you see it, speak it into existence, and then walk out your obedience and faith. God's telling us to do the same thing in this situation. In this situation of your promise, he's telling you to do the same thing. So think about the promise that he's given you. Really think about it. Do you want it? Or do you just think you want it? Is it a true promise from God, or is it from your flesh? Because that's a big one, especially when you're talking about relationships, especially when you're talking about careers and wanting to earn more money, because there are always good and bad that come with any promise. There are always going to be sacrifices that need to be made when God gives you a promise. So let's say it's a job, it's a career. It's a career that you desire, you're going to help people, it's going to be something that is beneficial for a lot of people, but maybe you don't make the money that you need to make. Maybe you have to work a second job to do it at first. Maybe you have to go back to school, which means you have to sacrifice now some time. Or maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's going to mean you have to cut back on something you do, a hobby, or you're going to have to change some of your personality traits to be able to make that relationship work, to be the man or woman that God has called you to be. I will tell you right now, for me, to become the person that you see sitting here today, this is not the person I was a year and a half ago. Not even close. And I know a lot of you guys have heard me say that, but you guys don't really realize how different I am. I was a very angry, scared, anxious person. I was 180 different than what I am today. There was no patience. I'm still impatient, but there was no patience whatsoever. It was my way or the highway. There were no apologies ever. Like, I grew up thinking that to apologize to somebody meant you were weak. I've done it so many times this week, it's not even funny. God's making sure I do it now, and he's testing me on it. There were things in my life this is not a foot stomping one. There were things in my life that I swore up and down, I'm doing God's will. No, I knew I wasn't. I was doing it for my flesh. Most of my life was lived for my flesh, not for God at all. Even though I loved him, I lived for me. I loved me more. Okay. So how do you know? How do you know if it's for you or if it's from God? Is it something you can do on your own? Is it something you can manage? Is it something that you can accomplish without him? Then it's you. Simple as that. If you can accomplish it, it's you. If you need God to accomplish it, if it's something you can't do alone, if you know that you can't shoulder this, it's him. Is it something that will only benefit you, or is it something that'll benefit other people? If it's only going to benefit you, it's you. Most of the time, those of us who are like, hey, Lord, it'd be great. I need some money for bills, and I'll tithe that money. I'll tithe 10% of the lottery if you help me win it. Yeah, that's for you. That's not going to benefit anybody. That's for you. You're thinking of you. That's not God. But is it something that scares you and makes you step out of your comfort zone? That's going to be God. Is it something that's going to benefit more people and maybe harm you in certain ways. It's going to hurt, but eventually heal. That's God. Is it something that's going to be leading you to sin and sinful? That's you. And we like to blame it all on the enemy, but it's not the enemy. Our flesh will lead us right into sin every time. Even when we mean, I mean to do good, I mean to be generous, I mean to be kind. Yeah, but sometimes being kind just means you want people to notice you. You know, sometimes when we give money to somebody on the street corner, but we do it on purpose and then tell people about it, that you just got your thanks. You just got your pat on the back right there. That was it. Okay, so what he's telling us, and you guys, I promise we're getting towards the end of this. So what he's telling you is to see it. Do you know that you know that you know that you know it's from God? Because he's going to make sure that you know this promise is from him. So do you see it? Does it bring you peace even though it scares you? That's a big one. Like, there is just something that as soon as you think about it, it feels right. And you can't shake it no matter how much you try. No matter how many obstacles or oppositional things that come at it, you just want to be like, nope, I'm closing that door. And the Lord's like, nope, you can't close what I hold open. That's God. And you know that you know that you know, even if you wish it was different. You guys, I can't tell you how many times I have prayed that God would close the door on my promise. Over and over and over, I have prayed, Lord, please close this door. Close this door, close this door. Please just close this door. I wish I didn't want it, but just close it so I don't want it. Give me something different. And he's like, sorry, this is it. This is what you get. This is the promise I have for you because my promise is my best. And I am offering you my best. Don't reject it. Okay. Speak it. Is it a promise or a suggestion? Because you know the difference. Is it his way or his will? So here's an example of the difference between God's way and God's will. Okay. So he called me a long time ago to, like once my divorce was going through, he called me, I want you to walk in purity. That's God's way. He wants me to be pure. He wants me to walk in purity. But his will was for me not to date in this time. Is that his will for everyone? No. Does he want everyone to walk in purity? Yes. The scriptures tell us to walk in purity, have a pure heart, all of those things. So he wants all of us to walk in purity. That's his way. But his will may not be for you not to date. His will is for me not to date right now. But see what I'm talking about? The difference? The way is those things that are not changing. Those are the unchanging laws from God, the unchanging precedents that he sets for our lives. So for women, it's how to be a Proverbs 31 woman. For men, it's how to be an Ephesians 5 husband, that type of thing. Those are his ways. But his will might be different for you versus someone else. Okay? So like for someone, it may be no drinking at all. For someone else, it might be you can have alcohol. Okay. And then recite the promise. And you do that by reciting the scriptures he's given you. You recite the promise itself that he's given you. You recite the instructions and the preparations he's given you, because that's how you learn to walk it out. You guys, he has given me so many instructions and things to watch for, and I write them down because he's telling me these are the things I need you to prepare for. These are the things I want you to do in order to prepare for those things. These are the things, the specifics. So like for me, one of the specifics, oddly enough, that might not make sense to everyone else, was prepare a room. Long time ago, he told me prepare a room. He told me that before James came to the house. And I prepared the room. Had I not done that, I would have been scrambling. He told me recently, clean your garage. Why? Because I said so. Okay. Night, Rodney. So he told me clean the garage. So I do it. Do I understand why? Nope. Do I do it anyway? Yep. When he tells me stack the firewood, I go stack the firewood because he told me to. Do I understand why? No. No. Do I have time for it? Probably not. But I do it anyway, and he makes time for it. All right. So time is short. Take the steps he tells you to take, because when suddenly happens, and we all get a suddenly, you guys, God feels like he's not moving at all until he suddenly moves. And he tells us it's going to happen suddenly, so fast your head will spin. Amos 9:13, I think. So take the steps now, because when suddenly happens, there won't be time. It's not going to do you any good to be working out at the last minute. You're not going to lose weight fast enough to be ready for whatever that thing that God is telling you to do. You don't know when he needs you to run. The time to start learning to run and jog is not when a bear is chasing you. Okay? You need to be in shape before you go into the woods, kind of thing. So God is preparing you in advance. When he's giving you instructions, he is letting you know in advance what you need to prepare for. It doesn't matter if you understand. He already told us, you don't think the way I think and you don't work the way I work. So just follow the instructions. It's kind of like that parent telling you, because I said so. That's why, because I said so. Just do it because he said so. Okay. So Matthew 25, 1-13, you guys don't have to go there, but you can. God's kingdom is like 10 young virgins who took oil lamps and went out to greet the bridegroom. 5 were silly and 5 were smart. The silly virgins took the lamps, but no extra oil. The smart ones took the jars of oil to feed their lamps. The bridegroom didn't show up when they expected him, and they all fell asleep. Guys, how many of your expectations has God been like, yeah, that's your expectation. Get rid of it, because I'm not going to do it your way. I'm going to do it my way. And he destroys your expectations to do it his way, which ends up being better, and you don't understand it anyway. In the middle of the night, someone yelled out, he's here. The bridegroom's here. Go and greet him. Then 10 virgins got up and got their lamps ready. The silly virgin said to the smart ones, our lamps are going out. Lend us some of your oil. They answered, there might not be enough to go around. Go buy your own. They did, but while they were out buying oil, the bridegroom arrived. When everyone was there to greet him and had gone into the wedding feast, the door was locked. Much later, the other virgins, the silly ones, showed up and knocked on the door, saying, Master, we're here. Let us in. He answered, do I know you? I don't think I know you. So stay alert. You have no idea when he might arrive. You guys, that's the thing. We don't know when the promise is going to come to pass. He's not telling us. He is saying soon, very soon, imminently, it's coming. Get ready. So do it. Just be ready. He's telling us be expectant for it. And I'm telling you guys right now, time is really short. Really short. Like, it's never felt closer. All right. So if you don't start moving now when he says, you won't do it later. And here's how I know that. Everybody who sits there and says, oh, I'll start tithing when I make more money. If God can't trust you with the little, he can't trust you with more. So you're not going to get more if he can't trust you with the little. Faithful with a little before you get a lot. He can't trust you yet. You have to show you can be trusted with something small. You are not going to give your kid the keys to a Corvette if you can't trust them not to ding up the Dodge Dart. It's that simple. You are not going to give someone irresponsible, someone who doesn't care, someone who disregards the piddly little jobs that you give them, and then trust them with something more. Why would you? Your boss won't even do that. Your boss is not going to give you more responsibility if you can't do the responsibilities they're giving you now. Now, faith is the assurance, and this is out of the Amplified. Faith is the assurance, title deed confirmation of the things hoped for, divinely guaranteed, and the evidence of things not seen, the conviction of their reality. Faith comprehends as fact, but cannot be experienced by the physical senses. Hebrew 11:1. There's our ones, Manny. So what he's saying in this, you guys, is what you believe here, that's what's going to come to pass. So if he is telling you to imagine those things, imagine that promise, visualize that promise, he is telling you it's coming. I'm telling you to do it, just do it. Because I want you to see it. I want you to believe it before I can even bring it to pass. So with Abraham, he told him, go. He didn't tell him where. He didn't tell him when. He didn't tell him when he was going to get there. He didn't give him any instructions at all about, except for keep walking until I tell you stop. I'll show you when you get there. But for now, you go. He didn't tell Mary what was going to happen to her. He didn't tell her the end result. He said, guess what? Surprise, you're pregnant. And she believed him. She walked in faith with that. She went to her cousin and spent time with her cousin who was also pregnant because her cousin was taking care of her. She didn't even have any signs of being pregnant in the moment, you guys. She had no clue. She just had to believe that for the next 5 months until she got kicked from the inside. And then there's David. Here, we're going to anoint you king, but then you're going to be attacked and run through the mountains and be chased and uh, attempted murder against you. Like everything that could possibly happen to David, it did not look like he was king, but he was king. It didn't change God's promise. It didn't change the fact that he was king. He just didn't see it. It hadn't come to pass yet. Hey, Jesse. So where does this leave you? Where does this really leave you? All of this tonight. Man, he gets me timed at 45 minutes every time, Manny. So where is this really going to leave you? This leaves you with the promise and your choice of, are you going to walk in faith in this, or are you going to step out and be like, well, it doesn't look like it's happening, and I'm just too doubtful it's ever going to happen, and I'm waiting too long and just nothing's happening, so I give up. You can give up. You can give up. He's not going to stop you from giving up. You have the choice about giving up or not. But unless you can tread water out in the ocean, then you are going to have a really difficult time swimming back to shore. We are so far out in the waters right now. What I used to tell everybody is, I am so far out on a limb with God right now. He better catch me. He better catch me and show up, because I will fall to my death otherwise. I have no option now. Like Peter said, where else would we go? When Jesus asked him, do you want to leave us too? And he's like, where else would we go? He was saying the same thing. I am so far out in the ocean with you, in the deep water with you, Lord, that I would drown if I tried. That's where we are, you guys. We are so far out on our faith right now. Our faith is literally us walking on water. That's where we are right now. So why would you turn back now? Why would you let it go now? Why would you let the enemy and doubts creep in now when it's this close? Because that's exactly what he's telling me is, you guys, this is his promise for us. Get ready. God's about to show up and show out. He's about to bless you in ways you wouldn't believe. I know you've been humiliated, shamed, and laid low. I know it looks like the complete opposite of blessing is happening, but people are about to witness what God can do. You're about to go from pit to palace, slave to king. I've got you, and nothing and no one can touch you unless I allow it. Follow me and watch how big I bless you. You don't have room for it. You might not understand, but that doesn't change that it's happening because I said so. It isn't going to be just people celebrating. The whole world is going to see, and it's right around the corner. You've had my back, and now I'm going to have yours now, not later. You guys, it's your choice. It simply is your choice to decide where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and whether or not you're going to walk this out in obedience, or if you're going to sit there and worry and doubt and have nothing happen. Is really what it comes down to. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I told you guys this one was a lot. I love when he lets me give good news messages. I love the good news messages where I don't feel like I'm like beating you guys up. Where I have good news for a change. Okay. So you guys want to hop on? You can hop on. I am done with this. So you guys want on here? You guys get on here. I did record this one. I'll have it on YouTube, I think. Let me make sure. It should be on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Good. Good. But yes, I did record. I've been trying to record them all, Chris, to put on YouTube. You know what, though? Here's the thing. He's telling this to all of us. He's telling this to everybody right now. I have seen message after message after message just confirming what he had already been telling me. And because he gave me this, I think it was Monday, he gave me this verse. And then everything I have seen since then lines up with this of it's coming. It's now. God's releasing it. It's on its way. Like you don't even understand. And I'm like, okay. You know, and I'm not in any way doubting it. I absolutely believe him. It's just, I'm just waiting for it now. It's just a matter of just waiting for him and waiting for his movement. Oh, Willie. My dogs are going to be missing me. I mean, his instructions are sit back and enjoy it. I'm trying to learn how to sit back and enjoy it. Good, Kathy. We got kind of a family going on here. Got like a little bit of a special family going on. Good. Glad. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what that means. Of course, then again, you're usually pretty cryptic, so I half the time I don't know what you mean. I am so thirsty, you guys. I've been drinking so much water. I was just glad when I didn't have to fast anymore. I think it was like 10 days. I just realized that, Manny, it was 10 days. Oh, Lord, you're funny. It's not me, Jenny. It's all him. I mean, I will say I'm so blessed that I ever got it through my head. Yes, I am. I am. I do Himalayan salt in my water. I do that. And no, I'm not on the Oreo and ice cream. I did buy cookies today, though, but I bought cookies to take with me. So, no, I'm still good. I'm still like today, I think I had 2 protein shakes and then I had dinner real quick. So, no, not the Oreo and ice cream. Although I did have ice cream. I did have ice cream the other day. And there are Oreos at work. I didn't even touch the Oreos at work. I had the protein shakes instead. But let's see. I've been doing a lot of fruit instead of sugar things. So I've been trying to stick with either like Greek yogurt or fruit. I mean, Greek yogurt and fruit, or cottage cheese and fruit, and a little bit of, it's not granola, it's nuts and like coconut shavings stuff from Trader Joe's. A little bit of honey. Trying to stay at least whole foods. Trying to stick with whole foods as much as possible. Even the pizza that I had, that was homemade pizza. So I try to stick with it as whole as possible lately. That's where he's got me. I have a reason to be getting in my best shape, is what I've been told. Again, the promise. Promises, I guess, would be better. Guys, you gonna leave me out here hanging, talking to myself? I get so tired of just hearing my own voice, you guys. Where's Ron when I need him? Peanuts are not a nut. Just be aware of that. They're a bean. So they're really more of a carb, which is fine as long as you know that. I still have to be low carb for my body type, for my issues that I have, my medical issues that I have to be low carb. I don't do keto anymore but I do low carb. Well, you should probably eat. Wow, that coming out of me is different. Oh my gosh, you're cruel. I so badly want wild wings. I haven't had wings in probably 2.5 years. I used to be like a Buffalo Wild Wings queen. We have one here called Angry Chicks. Angry Chicks. And one of the girls just brought it up to work today for her lunch. It was the French fries with the macaroni and cheese all over it, and it smelled so amazing. But I don't do macaroni and cheese. I don't like macaroni and cheese. That was just mean, though, Jeff. Wild Wings is one of my favorites. You two can both, you know what? Whatever. You go have your bromance, you two. Right? Here we go. You guys and your little bromance. There's a lot of guys on here tonight. It's only me and Janny and Jenny and Kristen, I think. But then again, guys, we're usually outnumbered and we still take you guys on and win. Just jealous. Is that what it is? Is that because of the hernia? Oh, you're fine. Oh, just told no drinking, huh? I just went through that, so. Gotcha. Yeah, I just went through that. Had a bunch of bottles of wine in my fridge and I couldn't even drink them. I was very sad. But you know what? They're still waiting there for me, so haven't even touched them and I can again. I don't know. After 110 days fasting, um stop. After 110 days fasting, 10 days is like, okay, cool. I mean, I don't like it. Still do it, but I don't like it. But at this point, you guys, I've recognized that fasting is just fasting. It's just another thing. It's just another thing he calls us to in obedience. And every single time I fast, I sleep better, I hear better, and I'm quicker to react the way he wants me to react. It's almost like getting in fighting shape. Think of it that way. So, like when the enemy comes at you, you're more limber, you're more nimble, you can react better. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that fasting is not a bad thing. I am ignoring you both. I'll continue ignoring you both too. It's fine. You guys ignore me, I'll ignore you. It's all cool. Hey, Lori. Your tummy's making noises too. What is it? A 6-pack? Or are they 8? It's 8, right? So bad. Whatever. I don't care what you say. I'm going to the ladies' retreat and getting pizza, and it's supposed to be the best pizza ever from one of the best Italian restaurants ever. So, oh, those are good. Those are good ones. I still like the dry rub. I still like the what is it? It's one of the dry rubs. I don't remember. It's like the second from the second hottest or something like that. Because I could never have the sauces on it because they had sugar in them. See, the thing was when I was doing keto, Buffalo Wild Wings was one of the only ones that I could have because their sauce, they had the dry rub. So I could just do that. No, I don't like that. Mm-mm. No, I don't like that one. If you told me what it was, I'd remember. This thing keeps moving. No, that's my nickname for you, Jeff. Yeah, no, it's not buffalo. It's hotter than buffalo. I like the buffalo, but it's hotter than buffalo. Are you checking out the menu now to, like, just make me jealous at this point? It's fine. You can do that. I'm getting lasagna tomorrow night and pizza the next night, and I get homemade omelets one morning, and I have to get my message the morning we get parfaits. I have a hair on my nose. That might be it. I think that one might be it. That's my nickname. Stop. What is with your tummy? Did you eat? Did you eat? Did you go eat? Come on. Oh, nope. I don't need the kisses. One thing about a dachshund, they always have booty breath. Well, it's Costco lasagna, so it's not like the best lasagna. I make better homemade lasagna. I make a really good spinach and sausage lasagna. Where you been? We've been talking about it. I have to give us a talk. It's this weekend. It's in Twainhart by Sonora. No, you're not. Stop it. Probably one of the most intelligent people I know. Absolutely, Kathy. Every Monday and Thursday. So come back. Why? I'm just stating facts. I've already told you that a long time ago. Tomorrow. I'm supposed to be able to have service. I'm hoping I have service, so I'll try to take pictures, do my videos still, because I've been able to do my videos still the last week. I'm not sure how that's happened, but so far it has. Were you cheering? That's one thing I don't miss about my divorce is I don't have to watch TV or sports or anything if I don't want to. I can watch what I want when I want or nothing, which is usually what happens. I don't actually have time to watch TV most of the time anymore. Night, Jenny. Keep us posted. We'll pray for you too. Yeah. The only bad thing is while I'm driving, I'm the car driving, so I can probably get in the car to make calls if I need to this weekend. There's a lot of downtime this weekend. So if anybody needs to reach me, like I cared about the Raiders. I just like to watch them lose. Now I just don't care. Yeah, so if anybody needs to reach me, you can reach me. You should be able to reach me on my cell phone. I should have service. I don't know. We're supposed to go to the lake, and I don't know if that's actually going to happen now because it's going to be chilly. Cooper, your face is all in the camera. Nope. Nope. Oh, yeah. I'm a California girl. Born and raised Central Valley. Not anymore. Well, I guess it's kind of Central Valley. Just a little one. It's just the women's. Oh, wow. Somebody just stepped in front of you, Manny. Look at that. Somebody's coming to my defense. Wow. I'm gonna have a dog fight, just like with Brody and Sully. Um, where was I? I totally lost track. Oh, small retreat. It's just the women's ministry. It's the leadership of the women's ministry group. So I think there's only like 10 of us, 8 of us, something like that. Yeah. So it's just a little tiny thing. Short memory though. Who, you or me? What's up, Willie? Who's got the short memory? Yes, that answered it. Not at all. That doesn't answer the question. Try again. And I got a mind like an elephant. You know that. I don't forget anything. Besides that, even if I did forget it, I have it all written down. Like, ask James. I could show you the shelf of journals. Everything ever is written down. Everything from all time. Oh, I lose my phone too. I actually lost my phone yesterday at work. They had to call it, and it was in my car with my car keys. So that was cool. I've done that several times too, where I forget my keys. I don't really have a memory like a steel trap. I know. I was kidding. I don't really have a mind like a steel trap or an elephant. I forget everything. I'm old, you guys. That's where my age comes in. Because I forget everything. Yeah, ask Manny. I forget everything. That's why I write everything down. Everything gets written down. You're older than I am. So you can say that all you want. You're older than I am. And I'm in better shape than you. I can climb a tree and not get a hernia. Just saying. My neighbor, who is 10 years younger than me, easily. I'll outrace you. I won't outlift you. My neighbor, my tenant saw me the other day. Whiskey throws his toys. I will not. Whiskey throws his toys out of the pasture all the time because he'll be flinging them around and playing with them. And so he'll throw his toys out. So he's got a ball with a handle on it. He's got like a construction cone, the big construction cones. He's got those. He'll fling those out. So I had to jump out to get his toys. And I just ran down the fence line and hopped the fence. And it's like a 5-foot fence. And my neighbor looked at me and goes, "Did you just hop the fence?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Seriously, you just hopped the fence?" I said, "Well, I mean, I hopped up on it and then over it." And she's like, "Do it again." So I hopped back into my side of the fence and she's like, "Holy crap." She's like, "How do you even do that?" I'm like, "I work out. This was like nothing. This is nothing compared to the 2 cords of firewood I just stacked." You guys, I have to stay in shape. If I don't stay in shape, I am never going to keep up with this place. I've got way too much to keep up with to not stay in shape. I do not hold it up in one hand. I'm not Wonder Woman. I did clean my car though. I did vacuum out my car and I got that all cleaned. I got the outside all blindfolded. I mean, yes, I do lift the back of the lawnmower up and move it up a hill, but that's because I ran over the hose with it. I had to get the hose unattached. I did fix the lawnmower though, James. I got all that twine that got caught in there. I got all that out. It works just fine now. I've learned how to change a battery in a lawnmower. I could probably do the spark plugs on a lawnmower. I mean, it's the riding mower, but yeah, it definitely will. These dogs, these horses. Why is there somebody parked out in front of my house? Yeah, it does. For sure. It's mostly chopping the firewood, splitting the firewood, moving the firewood, it's all of that. The wheelbarrow, doing a lot of that thing, keeping the trees cut back and in shape. I mean, it also helps taking the garbage cans down. Sully and I race back up the driveway and it's, 50 yards. So we run sprints And I have a dog jumping on top of me while I do it. So, I'm dodging him at the same time. It's fun. We have a good time. You guys, I will say, as much as it is work to stay in shape, there's a lot of things I can do just because I stay in shape. And it's things for God, even. Like, I got to go hiking through Yosemite. I got to go tubing down the river because I was in shape. If I hadn't been in shape, I couldn't have walked the path that we had to get to where we went tubing. You know? Oh, you want some whiskey videos? I'll have to get some whiskey videos. I haven't been able to do it. The other night he was busy running around the yard. Oh, you want to I'll tell you a whiskey story that was really funny. So the back end of my yard, off the back hillside, it goes straight up a hill and then flattens out, and then it goes up a granite rock, and then it flattens out across the top of that. So it's like 3 levels. And I leave the horses out once in a while to graze down some of the grass. That's all dead grass anyway, so it's fine. And they were up on the first or the second level. So there's a level above them. They're on the second level, and then I was down on the bottom level. And I called Whiskey, and as soon as he looked at me, he comes trotting up to where I was and looks at me and looks at the hillside. And it's a steep hillside. I mean, it's steep. And so he's looking at the hillside and he looks at me and he decides he wants to come to me, but he doesn't want to go around where there's a slightly less steep grade and there's more of a path where he could come down. No, he decides he's going to go down the steep grade and puts his feet down it, and his butt is way up in the air and his feet go down. And all of a sudden, if I have ever seen a horse with a look on his face that said, "Oh shit," as much as this horse's face did in that moment, because his feet went out from underneath him and started to slide forward. And basically, he was down on his chest with his butt up in the air, trying to figure out what he was about to do and if he was going to keep going forward or like try to get back up this hill. And he finally decided YOLO and jumped down and landed right in front of me on the ground and was like, "Oh, thank goodness I did it." But it was such a little kid, teenage boy thing to do. And the look on his face was like, "What did I just do?" That horse is going to be a mountain goat. He really is a mountain goat. He likes to climb hills. He like steep hills. He likes to jump over rocks and downed tree trunks, and he's nuts. He's nuts. But it's going to make for an amazing riding horse when the day comes. Yeah, I've just never seen that look on a horse's face. He did. He nailed it. And he landed at my feet and was like 10. You would love him. He's a gigantic dog is what he is. Yeah, I'm excited to get him broke this year. So hopefully this winter he will go to the trainer, and the trainer, as long as my loan is done for the house, then a giant dog. Yeah. Yeah, when I was showing you the video of the balls. Um, as long as my loan is done for the house, I can pull out the funds to send him to a trainer this year and get him broke. And I have a trainer in mind, everything. No, I don't think so. I want to. I really, really want to. But I think I'm a little too accident prone at this point, and I really don't want to end up in a wheelchair or, breaking a hip, or because if he bucks me off, there's a good chance I could break something. Even the pasture is soft. I mean, I could anyway, riding anytime, but I would rather just send him. The guy that I've got in mind is, I knew you would say that. You come break him then. um, yeah, after the last, like the other night, I was just walking to feed the horses and almost fell. Okay, it's on. He's ready for you. You can even come stand in the stirrups. I've done that with him. I'll probably sit on him, but I don't know that maybe, I don't know. I don't know, Chris. We'll see. I really want to start. James, I think that something pushed me, and that's why I almost tripped and broke my ankle the other day. They don't have antlers. Although I do need a rack to put in my office because the guy that I work with in my office said I'm girling up the place too much because now I've got it decorated. I pulled out all my fall decorations. So I went from all my lavender stuff and my good smelling stuff in there that now he's like, I need some antlers on the walls. I said, if you do, I'm just going to put flowers around them. So, what's up, bud? What's up? But his ears are big enough, you could probably hold on to those. A turkey. I probably could, I got plenty of turkeys, you know that. I think we had like 40 walking through the yard last year. It was really funny to watch them trying to threaten the horses, and the Whiskey would go chase them. Oh, he probably could have. Jeff's the hunter around here. Although I'm learning how to use a bow, which I really kind of liked. That was fun. I have a friend who's going to take me out and help me find one for me. Wow. What was that? Maybe. Maybe. He's a hunter, so we'll see. That's what I've heard. I've heard that. I just haven't gotten it. The other day when I was going to my friend's house, the one who's the hunter that was teaching me how to, he's starting to teach me. Right as I was going to their house, this buck comes walking up the side of the road. You can always tell the tourists up here because they drive like tourists, like they don't know how to drive in the mountains. And this guy is driving a little RV, like one of the little rental RVs, and he's driving it and he's coming around these turns and he's just going super slow, whipping, like going around these turns in this RV. And I mean, we are just like slow. You can't go any slower than this guy was. I think he was doing like 25. And then he hits a straightaway and decides to gun it and speed up to like 65. And right on the edge of the road is probably 8-10 point buck. I didn't even have time to count it. And this guy's heading right for the road and gonna go right in front of this guy, and literally stopped and turned around and went the other direction as he would have hit into the side of this RV. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? James, he used to live in Oregon. He did. Jeff's from Oregon. I told you that, remember? I threatened him? No, he's not now. He's not in Oregon anymore. He left Oregon, though, which I think was crazy. Night, Mark. He didn't hunt in Alaska? I thought you hunted in Alaska too. Oh, now you guys got him talking about hunting. Mm. No, go right ahead. I don't care. Enjoy. You said yourself that you haven't been talking to many people. Here you go. You can talk all you want. Enjoy the company. These are my guys. You just can't steal my guys. I mean, you could try. A hunting show. I just get dogs. Thatcher, you're just full of all the little tidbits. Ugh. Ow. I have quails. Oops, what? What did you oops? What are you oopsing? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it is. That was so funny. And there were so many of them. I don't think I've ever seen that many quail on the property at once. And it's funny because every single day I see them now. Like they're either in the backyard in the trees. So you know how like oak trees will get the sprouts that come out of the bottom of it, the new shoots? I know I need to cut those down because they get out of control really quickly. And I need to cut them back. But I also know that that's where the quail are living. So I don't want to cut those out and then they don't have any place. Then they'll go off the property into the back. The problem is the back is the guy that owns the property behind me. It's just property. There's nothing there. Yeah, they're little California quail. And so they've got the little dealy bob in their forehead. They're super cute. But he has never cut it down. I've been here 3 years. He's never cut back the weeds and everything in this property. So they're knee high. And it's a definite fire hazard. He's been cited for it like 3 times, but I know the quail go out there. So if I cut those trees down, they're just going to go back out. That's where the turkeys hang out a lot of the time. Well, I wouldn't want you to eat them anyway. My little cottontails are too small to eat too. Oh, that's right. Yeah. It was really sweet. He went to that Bible study and started going there and started telling them about my sons. And so now a lot of those guys, because it's that biker club, that biker ministry. So because of that, a lot of those guys have now started going to my son's bike shop and they're ministering to my son. So it's really kind of cool to watch it go full circle. Ew, don't touch my gray squirrel. I only have 2 gray squirrels here. Nobody gets to touch my gray squirrels. You can kill all the ground squirrels you want. Yeah. Yeah, so now Ron's because Ron's actually lives closer to my boys than I do. He lives about 30 minutes away from them. Yeah. You're breathing heavy, bud. Night, Manny. And Manny, I'll talk to you if not tonight, then tomorrow morning before I leave. Aw, your bromance is leaving, Jeff. Now who are you gonna talk to? Your buddy's gonna go. I could have said his girlfriend. There you go. Chris will talk to you. I think Mark left. Hey, Ross. Shh. You're getting angry. James, Willie's getting angry. He needs some attention. He needs somebody to come sit in the recliner with him. Oh, you're all right. I recorded it. It's on YouTube. If you want it, it's on YouTube. Why, you gonna come hang out in the chair with Willie? Hair everywhere. What are you guys talking about? Now we're not going to be nice to me? Willie, yeah. James is buddies with Willie. Him and Willie used to hang out a lot. Willie liked to hang out in the chair with my ex, and then James came here and made buddies with him, so they hung out. And he loves men. He has. Oh, I mean, I'm mom, so yeah, he loves me, but he loves men. So, yeah, he misses his buddy hanging out with him now. Manny, you have to be nice to me. I helped you out today. Oh, Jeff, they're going to fight over you now. I don't know what I'm missing in you guys' conversation anymore. I quit trying to keep up with you three. You guys got me all confused. They can have you, Jeff. They don't know what a problem child you really are. I am. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. A lot of these women are fairly, yeah, whatever. You're kind of a problem child. They're not new to the faith, but they're new to ministry. So it's going to be fun to watch them grow this weekend and get to be a little closer and learn more about discipleship and what God wants to do with them. Do I, though? Do I? Are you sure about that? I admit nothing. I admit nothing. I admit absolutely nothing. Prove it. Little quail. I remember a hawk telling you things too. We see how well that worked out for me. No worky, no promise. I work just fine. It's walk. It's no walkie, no promisey. Did you not hear the message? Oh, thanks. He told me this is what he wants me doing. So I am doing this in obedience. He's basically told me he wants to take everything he's taught me to do up until now in my life. So teaching, talking, loving him, and then move forward with it and just do what he tells me to do. I hate public speaking. I will just tell you, I hate public speaking. And the lives are easier for me than public speaking, but yeah, and I mean, it's a small group and I know what he wants me to talk about. So the difference is it's a lot different when I have to come up with a speech myself and I have to come up with it myself. I don't come up with it. I just let him go. And so, I always pray that this is not of me. This is not of me. And I just let him do what he wants to do in it. I'm not s I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Does that make sense? Because I know it's something that he has really been pressing on my spirit about all week. I mean, James, I told you a little bit earlier in the week, so, um, it's just he's really been pressing this on me, so. And what are you talking about, Jeff Walkie? Quail my rear. My quail are hiding. Thank you very much. They don't talk to you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's I don't know about inspiring, but it's definitely I had to learn to stand on my own feet with him, instead of letting other people be a crutch kind of thing. Like as wonderful as that was, um I needed to learn that he was what I needed. I needed to learn to not idolize anyone or anything except for him. And it was turning that direction really quickly. So, I mean, that was my fault. I wasn't healed enough for sure. Yeah, Kristen, he didn't tell me anything. He just told me that you guys had talked. That's it. Same thing with Ron. He just told me that you guys had talked. Neither of them told me anything you guys talked about. That's why one of the things I love about the guys who are kind of my core leadership part of this is they know how to keep a confidence when it's said. And yeah, Jeff, you know what I meant by that. So, you know, idols had to be torn down. Tim's back. Boy, you went real quiet on me. Things get too real. I do that all the time. All I have to do is bump it and it'll take me out. I just look at it as a blessing that we still have TikTok, honestly. Um, it was more it was go read Isaiah 54 through 56 1. And it was basically God's promise to us. It was him telling us that the promise is almost here. But those are the main scripture verses. Absolutely. So what do you guys have planned for the weekend? I mean, I know what I'm doing this weekend. I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm super excited. I don't have to work on Monday either. It's the first time I have taken a vacation or time off for me since 3+ years. I know, right? I don't think I have ever taken I had 4 days off together. It's always been like a court date or, like work. So I get to You're getting baptized? Or your friends are getting baptized? Either way, that's phenomenal. Nice. The kids will like that, Ryan. So yeah, I don't take vacation, you guys. I know I harass Jeff a lot about his long hours, but to be fair, I'm just as bad. Um, you're prophetic. Um, this is why everybody loves Jeff. Yeah, whatever. You guys all love him now till he starts calling you old and telling you need depends. Kristen, stick with Ron because Ron's a lot nicer. I promise. Yeah, I harass Jeff a lot, but to be fair, I come home and work. And now that I'm doing the lives all the time, it's yeah. Every way my rear. You just want to be Mr. Popularity. It's fine. You go right ahead. Whatever you need, I got you. I share. Remember that whole conversation about getting jealous? I don't anymore at all. It's all good. Ron is nicer than Jeff. Jeff is mean to me. Ron is nicer to me than Jeff. Sometimes. Sometimes. Most of the time. Jeff. You had a 9-month hiatus of not picking on me, so I get it. You're trying to make up for lost time. No, not you, James. Yeah. Just, Kristen, don't trust James if he starts calling you princess, because know that he calls all the girls princess now. I found that out. Oh, have you now? So you don't pick on me anymore? Is that what you're telling me? I wouldn't know. I only see you on the lives now, so. Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. See, he did, huh, Kristen? He did call you princess, didn't he? A little. How about a lot? I get it. You're making up for lost time. It's cool. I don't worry about it. That's one of the that's one of the things that went in the last 10 months or so is I no longer choose to take offense. It's a choice. People want to offend me, I let it go. It's a choice. I will tell you guys that that's one of the things that God has taught me is that anger and offense, all of those things, they're a choice. Just like choosing to share your opinion. Everybody has an opinion. You make a choice whether or not you share your opinion, just like the person who hears your opinion gets to make the choice whether or not they're offended. You don't get to choose that. And they can be offended just as you can share your opinion. They can also think you're a jerk. So that's their choice. How short are you? I'm 5'5". So I'm shrinking, I've noticed. What? That I don't get angry anymore? I get angry. Trust me, I get angry. Ask James. I am 5'5". No, I'm only 5'5". No, I never get angry, do I, James? Not ever. I never get angry, I never get frustrated, and I never get impatient. And this is all so much bull. Like I'm having to wade through it. I'm 5'5", Jeff. I'm totally 5'5". Hispanic. Nothing in that says anger or passion or yeah. Yeah, we love never angry. Nope. Just gives me good hair. And dark eyes. Actually, they're not as dark as they used to be. No, not Sicilian, actually. Genoa. So northern Italy. What, my eyes? Or my hair? Or my anger? Which part are you not? Oh. Why? Nope. Not at all. Just Hispanic. Spain. So Spain and Italy. So really, I'm European. I'm just Latin European. Am I Mexican? Nope, not Mexican. I mean, it's fine. I still don't speak Spanish, so. My ex was Irish, Scottish, and Turkish. He was trying to figure out what I was. I do love street tacos. I have some in there for lunch or for probably for breakfast, actually. What's up, buddy? Why do you keep barking? You're getting hair everywhere. Yeah. I like all Mexican food, though. Yeah, that's him right there. Sally. See him? Sally. No, I'm not a big fan of churros. They're okay. Night, Chris. You too. I'll try to call you this weekend, either tonight, tomorrow, somewhere around there. Are you going to bed, or do you want me to actually try to call tonight? I might have to call my sister. She was trying to call while I was on the live. Because I'll be home Monday. So I'm actually have a whole free day on Monday. I made sure that when I come home on Sunday, I have nothing to do but the message until the live Monday. So I'm going to hopefully get the message done over the weekend. And I mean, I'm waiting on him to tell me what it's about. So, but then I'll have all day Monday to just. You're breathing heavy. Why? My big boy. Okay. Oh, I would love to go visit Italy. Someday. Someday I want to go visit Italy and Ireland. Those maybe Australia. There's too many things there to kill me though. So we know me and my accident prone. I would probably get eaten by a spider. I just want to go see where my family's from, where my grandfather's family is from. But to be fair, if I really went to, yeah, I would love to go to Ireland and Scotland. That was actually supposed to be my 25th anniversary. Didn't quite make it. The plan was to get vow renewal in Ireland and Scotland. Well, in Ireland. And the kids were going to go. Yeah, didn't happen. Thank goodness. God had other plans. Better plans. But I still want to go. I still want to go to Ireland and Scotland. I want to go to Italy. I have honestly no desire to go to France. I mean, if I went, great, but it's not like a bucket list thing. Never been to Hawaii. Still want to go to Hawaii, but I would actually rather go to some of the like the Caribbean islands, things like that. Never been off the country though. I would like to go to Canada. Always wanted to go to Canada. Yeah, most of the places I've ever wanted to go, they're off the beaten. They're not the normal places to go. Well, I still say there's nowhere prettier than the Pacific Northwest. Like, the Oregon coast is gorgeous. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of places in the US that are just really, really pretty. Never been. Was supposed to go on a trip there, I didn't go. But then again, too, I've been to, what do you call it? Um, yeah, well, I haven't been to Montana. That's the one that that's still definitely on my bucket list in the US. It's probably one of the only ones still on my bucket list in the US. I would also like to see Pennsylvania in the fall. Stockton doesn't count. No, Stockton doesn't count. Stockton, the shithole. Never been to Idaho either. I have been to South Dakota, Utah, I liked San Antonio a lot better than Dallas or Houston. See, what I always wanted to do, honestly, I always wanted to go stay in one of those huts over the water, but I was always so anxious that it scared me, the idea of staying. Okay, so that I want to do that. I want to see the fall colors. Um, but staying in one of those huts over the water always gave me like anxiety, and now that I don't have anxiety, I so badly want to do that and go swim with dolphins. Like, that's what I wanted to do growing up, was be a marine biologist, animal trainer. What about them in Washington? I mean, in Montana or in Alaska? Like, there's things I want to see, but it's usually um, lakes and things like that. I like the mountains. I still say, where isn't it Alaska that has those igloos that you can stay in? They're like glass igloos. I wanted to do that too, to see the northern lights. Like, I literally just laid out on my front porch yesterday. Um, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was last night, because the moon was hidden last night. And so, actually, the last 3 nights, I laid out on my front porch as it got dark and just watched the stars, because I live near Yosemite National Park, you guys. There is not a lot of light pollution here. And so the stars are so bright, and when the moon is hidden, they're even brighter. So you're scared of that, might be exactly why to go. Talk about finding your kingdom spouse. You could choose. There might be many. There might be a whole bunch of them. And that way, if one gets eaten by a polar bear, you just go to the next one. Reverse Mormon. I mean, depends on how God wants to do it. But yeah, so like, I just lay out and just stare at the stars. And I have this huge granite boulder that's off to one side of my property, off up past my driveway. And I'll just go lay on this boulder, and the dogs hang out around me. Sully actually patrols circles around so that nothing can get near me. So Cooper and I will just lay on this boulder and just stare up at the stars and talk to God. And it's amazing and it's beautiful. And I love it because I can hear the horses still. It's just super, super peaceful. So that's what I do. And I've got this one oak tree that's nearby. I mean, I have cedar trees and stuff, but the one oak tree, the population for what? Um, the one oak tree I have that's right there is like 250, 300 years old. So I've got all of this history. Well, there's not much. I actually have a girl that I know from high school that lives there with her husband. They moved to Alaska. She just had a baby. I mean, I knew her after high school. She's younger than us, but well, that's kind of like my town. So just saying. So what you're saying is the men there aren't worth it? if I want my men to have teeth. Is that what I'm hearing? All right, Kristen. So we're not going to find our kingdom spouse in Alaska then. That's not where they're at. As long as teeth are important to us, that's not where they're going to be. God's leading us a different direction if teeth are important. No, nope, nope. I want a teddy bear, not a gummy bear. Nope. I'll take the teddy bear. I don't want the gummy bear. Like I told somebody the other day, I want a teddy bear who, when it comes to me, will turn into a grizzly bear when it comes to protecting me. So they'll be my teddy bear, but with everybody else, they'll be a grizzly. That's what I need. But I also told the same person I told that to that good Lord help the man who gets me, because he's in for it. He's got his hands full, and I make the Lord Almighty himself roll his eyes on a daily basis. So there's that. Yeah. And that's probably why I'm single. For now. Oh, you went up? Okay, come here. Come here, little one. Oh, okay, you're going to hit your head. Oh. Okay, lay across the lap. I mean, at least there's physical contact for you. So, does he know? Go lay down. You're breathing heavy, bud. Kristen, does he know? So just waiting on timing. Bless you. My goodness. Well, at least you know. Yeah. And at least you know that you're at that point, because the separation comes before the togetherness. So at least you know that you're right before that part, some point. Yeah, I mean, like some point along the timeline. Bless you, my goodness. Hey, Shell. So, I mean, that's a positive. And with this message, yeah, yeah, makes for a beautiful pairing. But you're still waiting on God, so you're learning patience too. It's nice to know where you stand. And since he knows, that makes it easier. Because then at least you both know where you stand. It's just a waiting game at that point. Bless you. Well, I mean, that's okay. Because you are always getting hurt. Maybe that's what I need to do, is find a physical therapist. Lord, Can I put in my request? I love when he corrects me live. This is where he rolls his eyes at me. Yeah. This is where he rolls his eyes at me and tells me, stop it. This is where Manny would be telling me, stop it. I knew what you meant. James, you don't have to stop. I'm just getting a little jelly, that's all. Yeah. That's what I keep asking God, how? And he's like, I don't know. I need manna. Kingdom spouse stuff. Just ask God to reveal it. Don't even go looking for it. There's way too much stuff out there. All a kingdom spouse is the person that God has for you. It's just the God ordained person that he has picked for you. Some people believe it, some people don't. I look at it this way as God took Eve from Adam's rib. She is part of him. Therefore, they are part of one whole. So yeah, don't go looking for it. It'll find you. It'll find you when it's time. Yeah, God will explain it and find you when it's time. It's really, and it doesn't even have to be a marriage. It can be, a business partnership for that matter. It can be a ministry partnership. There's a lot of things it could be. It's that person that, yeah, you're just looking for someone to be equally yoked with that God has specifically directed you to. And the whole kingdom spouse thing, don't go looking for it because really, it's not a journey anyone wants to go through, honestly. It's God has to call you to it. Just like ministry, God has to call you to it. And he'll tell you if he's telling you to stand for someone, if he's telling you to wait for someone, if he's telling you, keep praying for this person, then he probably has. He probably has called you to it. Yeah, I wanted no part of it. And he said, too bad. And so I'm in a waiting game. Same. Difference is I don't even know if mine knows. Or recognizes. Then it's definitely possible. It's been time. It's been a long time. Really? What you doing? Well, God he'll try you. He'll test you with different ones. Then it's very possible, Ross. James knows it's coming. He just knows he's not sure who it is yet. He's still toward. James has the promise that there is one. He just hasn't been introduced to her yet. I'm not looking for anyone. Yeah, I have no desire for it. I didn't have a choice. That's what I say. That's what I say, Kristen. I know that out of several, James still has some time to wait. He just doesn't want to. He's kind of at the beginning of his when it comes to this. Other things, not so much. He's got other things. Yeah. Yeah, you know that you know that you know that you know. You get 360,000 pages worth of journals, right, James? Does it? Does it though? Or is it just frustrating? No, I know it's teaching and preparing, and I wasn't bitter. I was really wounded. Really, really wounded. Same. Like I said, um, I had to break some idols. There were a lot of idols that needed to be broken. Mhm. I had my isolation season for sure. Needed it. Yeah. Lots of ugly crying. I think though that I cried more in the separation from my kingdom spouse than I did with my ex. Like I think that was harder. Like the isolation there was harder than from my ex. No, no. Same. I didn't feel worthy. I felt like I was putting baggage on him that should not have been there. That wasn't his to carry. Mhm. It's hard. My little guy's snoring. Um, Sometimes, oddly enough, and Kristen could attest to this or not, um, you'll feel what they feel. God will let you share what they feel and help bear their burden, which is why He's also got you praying for them. It's kind of like standing in the gap. You're shouldering some of and He'll tell you if that's it. If you ask Him, am I feeling, oh, why am I feeling this way? And He'll tell you, you're feeling what they feel. Yeah, a lot of dreams. I would get a lot of times where He would say, this is what he's feeling right now. This is, he's missing you, or oh, he's thinking about you, or he's struggling with me. He's fighting me. He's wrestling. Hmm. But he won't do it all the time because he doesn't want you to feel like you're their savior. He doesn't want you to feel like are you're not supposed to idolize them. You share, you partner, you bear one another's burdens, but you don't idolize. No. No, no. And honestly, they will come to you in a frame of mind that you can't be mommy. You're not supposed to be mommy. And that was hard to recognize that you need to stop. Restored. Restored is the word. Refurbish just means you kind of fix it. Restored means you make it like brand new. Refurbished is more like repurposed. And the other thing too, Ross, is with Kingdom Spouses, it has more to do with bringing you together, like to the point where you can be healed enough to come together, then heal each other, and then from there work towards the kingdom. You're working for God together. Yeah, you're working for his kingdom together, not separately. So it has to be something you can help one another do for other people. It's never just for one or the other. It's never just for you to have a happy marriage. It's because there's more in store. Okay, guys, I got to pack. As amazing as this is and as much fun as I'm having, I do still have to pack so that I don't have to pack tomorrow, or at least not as much tomorrow. I mean, yeah, Ryan, I get it. I get it 100%. Is you just got to keep walking through it. What I keep telling everybody is God is telling you what's coming, and he is just letting you know, um Ron or James. Um, he is just also letting you know, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. As long as you're walking forward, trusting him, you're going the right direction. It's when we stop and sit down and complain and want to not keep walking forward that things start falling apart. And and I mean, even when he's telling you be still, it's be still with me. When he tells you just sit still with me. He said he wants somebody to talk to. She said to talk to you or James. I mean, you or Ron. See, I got that conversation. Oh, it was a little manna thrown your way. Look at that. She's throwing manna. She's like pouring the manna on now. You don't even need me anymore. Manna all over the place. Oh, that's not true. Yeah. Exactly. I will do that. I didn't know you were still on. You're all being quiet. Hiding. Look at you just hiding up in your little deer stand. Yeah, typical Jeff. Just listening in when nobody knows you're there. You're kind of a lurker. A little bit of a stalker. It's kind of creepy sometimes. Just saying. Just so you know, it throws a girl off her game. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. Uh-huh. So that's interesting. Oh, I know what that is. Hey, Sully, it's all right. My cat's water thing. Right, Ross? I'm telling you. I gotta go turn off the water. It's those quiet ones you gotta watch out for. They get all stalkerish and no, it's the cat's water dish is one of those fountains. And so it's plugged in, but it's out of water. So because it's out of water, the dogs are having a fit. Here. So, there we go. You happy now, Sally? There you go. That was easy. Yeah, you're a little bit of a stalker. A little bit. That's what I said. It's better. When you're sitting on here quietly, that's stalking. Yeah, that's stalking. Are we good? You need Wi-Fi? Yeah, is that a yes? Who needed? Oh, Kristen? Kristen needed a test. Kristen's farther ahead than I am in this walk. Kristen's got way more testimony than me. Oh, yes. Like I said, at least you know where you stand. Well, there you go. That's also Sable's name. So, actually, one day, yes, I will be going to Tennessee. I know eventually that's where God's taking me. I just don't know when and where. I have an idea of an area that I feel like He's going to be taking me. I'm just not sure when. It'll be after I sell my house. But yes, I will be going to Tennessee. I will end up in Tennessee. Never been to Louisiana. Been to Florida, but never been to Louisiana. I mean, it's an ongoing preparation. We never stop. I just don't know when He wants me to write the book. He's telling me not yet. So, yeah, but you already started, James. I'm not even supposed to start yet. So instead, I have 3,000 journals. Thousand journals and a bunch of threads. Right? Ask James. He's seen the shelf. Guys, I'm not kidding. Bottom shelf right there is journals. I don't think you can see it. I don't do legal pads and loose leaf. I had loose stuff. I just have journal after journal. James bought me 2 of them. I've already used one whole one, and I started on the second one already, James. It was only a month for one. But the nice thing is, yeah, no, I don't Post-its, forget it. The nice thing about it is that where it used to just be me talking, it used to just be me putting it out there. Now it's him talking back too. So when he talks, I write that down too. So I can go back and see what he has said, what I have said, and I'm pretty careful about writing. I feel like you're saying this. So, feelings, specific words, all of it goes in my journals now. My journals are always with me. So, no, she's in Louisiana. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, okay, guys, I'm going to head out. Let me pray us out real quick because we didn't pray out before everybody decided to bail. So, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time together. Lord, we thank you for the discussion and how we get to know one another and the fellowship that we have. Lord, I pray for those relationships that you were bringing into pass. I pray that your will be done. I pray for the message that you gave each one of us tonight, that it inspires, that it gives each one hope to continue pressing forward and walking out their faith in you. Father, I just pray that you will give each one strength to endure the hardships that we are going through in this time, the doubts that come against us. Let us lift our shield and just remember to always put you first in all things, so that in every single thing, Lord, you are glorified in it. And we pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. Yeah, I never forget to pray. All right. You guys have fun this weekend. Like I said, I'll have my videos up, but I don't know. I'm on all the time. So if you guys need to reach out, you know how to get me. Um, you know where I am. And I should have service. So I'll answer when and if I can. And the rest of the time it's gonna be me and my dad hanging out at the lake with the ladies. So good night, sir. Have a good weekend. Have a peaceful weekend. Night, Kristen. Ross, are you still on here too? I can't see you guys. It tells me that there's like 8 people in here right now, but it shows me 3. I see Beth, James, and Kristen, and that's it. So, I will. I always do. Maybe lonely, but it's always peaceful. There you go. Lisa's in here. She's probably from Louisiana too. All right, guys. You have good weekends, and I will see you guys Monday night. And I should be well rested by then. So I might be on early. We'll see. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.